Hello, everybody. It's Jeff Eichen here, and we are going live right now, and we're so blessed to have you. Let's bring in our. Here I am. It's it's the anniversary of Nixon's war on drugs this week, so I want to just share with you my opinion on the game while we're populating our room, waiting for people to come in to share their stories. If not, we'll just be sharing my stories. So today, before we get into our intro and give you a whirl here, it's just amazing that the term was popularized by the media shortly after the press conference given on June 18th. That's this week, the anniversary, the 50th freaking anniversary of the war on drugs. And so what the hell? Public enemy number one. So marijuana is a Schedule 1. You already know, everybody, that that's our new peace sign. And we can have peace, and we can have F Schedule 1, and we can say hemp, hemp, hooray, and welcome you to Weeds Day. And I'm going to get right at it and roll in our, wait for a few people to come in today and tell you about the war on drugs. This is, if you want to join our meeting today, which is going to be a roundtable, hopefully we'll have some latecomers come in. It's 12:02, everybody. Get your bouquet into the into the party. We're already here. We're doing all of our all of our technology, and I'll put my line on straight. Let's get rid of my tag here. And by the way, these hats are available. I have put it on sideways, or I can put it on regular. We have two different colors of these hats, black and green, and we'll talk about clothing later on in the show. But for the meantime, welcome everybody. This is the Hemp Cannabis Show. We talk about reform, how to end prohibition, and to bring home our prisoners. We're so blessed to have Can Do Clemency and all the other important organizations, normal and across the country, across the world, and countries like Uruguay and Portugal that have decriminalized marijuana. So that's what we need to do. We need to re-legalize it so our prisoners can come home and not have any record, so they can get a job, you know. And so I'm really blessed today to be with you and to share with you our, I'm going to share screen with you here, and to share with you our promo here, and here we go.
Okay, now look at me. Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great. Okay, look at me. Yeah, look at me. Look at the camera. Yeah. Put your leg. I'm your host, Jeff Eichen, human rights advocate and social activist fighting for government deregulation of weed and the release of all nonviolent criminals incarcerated for possession of marijuana, moving violations, parking tickets, IRS debt, etc. Here on Weeds Day, we keep the public informed about all things weed related, including festivals and legislation surrounding regulating the growth of hemp. Good morning, ladies and germs. It's Jeff Eichen, and I hope you're not all germied, but that your seeds are germinating, and it is time to plant and transplant your babies into larger pots and feed them and look out for mites and mold and all that stuff. But last week was about, or the last few weeks have been about growing. And so you all know where you're at with that. This week we're going to be talking about the hemp industry and the financial aspects of the hemp industry and how that affects our prisoners. You know, the more jobs we create, the more space we'll have for them coming home and having their own rehabilitation. You've been in jail for 33 years for nonviolence. You're scratching your head every day, but you kind of don't know what a computer or a or cell phone is, and let alone coming back to the love space. So our 420 activism is not over with. And even when it is, when we re-legalize marijuana, because we're gonna, in my lifetime, I promise, get this party started. But we're gonna show my hemp clothing line this week, today. We're gonna talk to some beautiful people from Vegas, from all over the world, all over the country, about what they're doing to help the hemp economy. And then we are also going to be discussing today the ramifications of the war on drugs or the war on people. And that is effed up because 50 years ago, tomorrow is the anniversary for Richard freaking Nixon. And so we don't like liars. We don't like people that are against the grain. So with flow and magic in our heart and our life, and we're going to get all your prisoners out, let's get on with the show. Jeff Eichen, Hemp Hemp Hooray. Hey, hey, hey. I'm here. I'm back. Put your 3 fingers up. That means Weeds Day.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Jeff again, and I'm running solo today. I have like 12 people coming on, but weed culture allows us to come in when we do, when we can, and I show you right now here on the screen, here's my mouse showing that there's my Zoom meeting. If you have something to say, you're welcome to come on in, and today's a really important day. Tomorrow's an important day, and yesterday's an important day to bring Lance Glore home and to bring all these people that are in jail for, for Jim Crow, for a really, really unqualified balance of power and crime fitting the punishment, marijuana for life. 33 years. Richard DeLisi, our beautiful Michael Thompson, who is home now. We are just so blessed to be able to tell the stories. My movie, Lifer's Madness, is definitely part of the awareness, and hopefully it's helped to bring awareness and to share with everybody there's people in jail for life for marijuana. I mean, who knew that? Even when I talk to, even today, this is years later, I've been on this since 2015, even years later, there's people that don't know in the industry. Really? There's people in jail still for life? I thought legalizing marijuana would bring them all home. Well, it hasn't, but we did really great with the Trump administration, bringing 6 of our 8 advocates. We were advocating for these 8 prisoners and all of them, and we're still going to town on that. And so I'm really blessed to have the ability to share with you this information. Let's see if I can find I just brought it in here. Let's see if I can find the the file that I brought in for Michael Thompson. It was a really beautiful file about, let's see, I think it's in there it is, Nico. So I'm going to play this for you right now, and I'll commentate during this, but let's roll this. Let's roll this.
Hi kids, it's me, Jeff Iken, and I am ready to go to Michigan next week to meet Michael Thompson, a prisoner, POW prisoner, and this is momentum. We're going to go in with some guns a-blazing and some open heart to bring Michael Thompson home. He's been in jail for 25 years. And I'm really blessed to be stewarding a meeting with the lawyer and with the prison inmate guards, and to go talk to Michael, to meet him and to greet him and to assist making the noise louder. So here we go, and I'm really blessed for all my people on my team for helping me to get there. I'm on my way back from the Oregon Country Fair. Here's my t-shirt that I've been wearing. And too bad for Mad Magazine. I just bought some issues. I had a flea market yesterday, so I could be reminded that how beautiful Mad Magazine was in their satire. So maybe Mad Magazine will come back in a new resurrection. So the second coming of Mad Magazine, please, we love you. So that's it. Follow me closely on my trip to Michigan. I'm going to puddle jump from O'Hare to get to Muskegon, and it's going to be quite a journey. But I'm ready to go, and I'm going to see Normal there, and I'm going to see some other incredible, important people there in Michigan, and maybe, just maybe, get to talk to the governor. So Hemp Hooray, and I mean what I say, and it's really, really a good time to be part of this movement. I feel really blessed that things are opening up. You can say marijuana on TV, and hopefully we'll get to Bill Maher and to William Snoop, and everybody will jump on board and help us end prohibition and re-legalize marijuana. That's really the most important thing, is to re-legalize the plant. So globally we can make hemp clothing, paper, fiber, fuel, medicine, and food, release our prisoners for nonviolence. So bring them all home. I'm going in for the next victim of 3 strikes and of incredible wrongness. So here we go. We're coming for you, Michael. And I'm just blessed for this day. Thank you, everybody. You know who you are. That's really seeing me. And all the people from 420 POW and all the sites and the Brick Policy Alliance and HempFest and Sharon Vivian. Everybody, I'm going in for Michael Thompson next week. Keep close and keep posted. And look out for my new TV show on IBM TV called Legacy. And Oregon Country Fair was over the top and beautiful and fun. And who's looking at you? And Emperor, Jeff Iken. I'll be on the road today, so if you all, the ones that have my phone number, want to call and I'm hands-free, get me through a few miles. That'd be really nice to hear your voice. So support and Parade, and safe travels for everybody.
So everybody, that was the day or the week that I was flying to that I was flying to Michigan, and it was an epic um, introduction to Michael's lawyer, and kind of associated with a little bit of the Kardashians, a lawyer that they knew that was local and came and stayed the whole way until Michael came home this year or last year, I think in 2020. And so, welcome home, Michael. We want you to come on our show. Come on, Miko. We're ready for you, Miko. And Beth Curtis, we wanted John Knox to come on. And so we're going to be bringing more prisoners on. We'll get Corbin, and we'll get Richard DeLisi back on, Jeff Mazansky, and these beautiful souls that got effed up because of 3 strikes. Jeff Mazansky went in jail for 3 strikes, which was unbelievable, for 2 grams, 2.5 grams. He speaks of it in my movie. He speaks of it while he was in prison. You can't forget. You can't forget the abomination, the stuff that happens to you in your life that is not right. That's the stuff that gets into your dreams. That's the stuff that follows you, where you need empathy and seminars. You need to have PTSD medicine, anxiety help, and I believe that just calming down, having the synergistic touch of somebody saying, "You're okay, we love you," and that since the plant, and since we have now major magazines, prolificating our word, that the plant is so incredibly important to us. It's important to the community and to everybody who is, who is in space to hold space. And so we have, I think Paul's coming in here. So we welcome Paul into the space here, everybody. And we're navigating today. We're going to be sharing the hemp industry. We're going to be sharing my clothing line. We have a few designers that possibly will come in. How's it going, Paul?
Hey, Paul.
Good to see you and good to be with you. Paul was on last week, everybody. And so maybe Paul's going to be my new co-host, and he'll bring other people in. People that return visit, get the bonus to go global and to say their piece and their word to the planet about Weeds Day and about what we're doing personally in our own selves to elevate and exaggerate and put our pedal to the metal to end prohibition. What do you have to say to that?
I think putting the pedal to the metal to prohibition is the best idea. Great idea. Changing my name right now. But yeah. Who can disagree with that?
Well, I just shared the story of Michael Thompson before you came on. I showed the story of me going to Michigan to go into the prison while we had marijuana prisoners. I've been in a few times with Jeff Mazansky and Michael Thompson now, and they're home. They're both home, and they have their stories. But in empathy, I don't know if you've been in jail before as a visitor or an overnighter or for days, but that's for you to share or not. But the deal is that in empathy, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine. There's no freaking way that I can imagine, being in jail for that amount of time, period, exclamation point. And so as we're populating everybody, our screens here, we want to depopulate the prisons, these private prisons that were designed to make profit on throwing blacks and browns in more than whites for marijuana and for non-violent crimes. And I guess they've been trying ever since the beginning of time to balance out the love space, to balance out bringing us back to not only the Bible or the Torah or whatever book you go for, the Bhagavad Gita, any of these great books, or you may just happen to pick up National Geographic and signed by Cheech and Chong. Not really, but that is really, you can't have mine, but that's my Babe Ruth card. But you may, whatever you're reading, whatever comes into your mind, what would Gandhi say? Be the dream. Be the dream. And so on our way to be the dream and to express our feelings globally, everybody, we're terribly sorry if you're in a country where they kill you if you smoke pot. Hello, they do that. And hello, Jeff Mazansky, who I went in and filmed. My first prisoner I got to go in Missouri, he was in jail for 2.5 grams, less than a joint for 3 strikes. So everybody, what does that say, that right there? That is our new peace sign. That's weed, okay? And we go peace, and we go F, Schedule 1. And I'm not afraid. This is home box office. We're late night TV, and we try to keep the language as clean as possible, and we try to keep it smoke-free here, everybody. But if you're at home, roll one up, sit back and enjoy us. We're going to have a little bit of discussion about how to bring hemp fabric, like I'm wearing, how to bring hemp fabric to America, how to end prohibition. And Mr. iPhone, can you say hello?
Oh, is that me?
Yeah. Who? Do you have a picture, or we're just going to get a little graphic here?
Oh, I can try to do video.
That'd be great. Oh, we got Mr. Justin here. Justin is my grow buddy, and the last couple weeks in a row we've been having grow shows, and so people in Portugal are looking at beautiful Justin's farm. He grows the most beautiful hazelnut trees and monkey puzzle trees. And what's your favorite tree this week?
Oh man, I'm doing double duty. Jeff knows he comes over to the farm. Chances are we're going to be doing a project while we hang out. And so as I join the show here, I'm doing my pine pollen harvest. So my tree of the week here is the Italian stone pine. I'm growing almost 20 species of pine nut trees on the farm here. I realized a few years ago that pine pollen is one of the most powerful foods on the planet. So here I am, grabbing the gold mama that rains down on us every year.
And
that's my tree of the week.
Isn't pine pollen good for older guys like me?
Oh yeah, indeed it is. Jeff, good question. Pine pollen is for everybody as a superfood, not even a supplement, as a food. When it's put into tincture form with alcohol and the cell wall is broken, it becomes the most concentrated form of plant androgens in the whole world. And so, yeah, for guys over 40, especially in the modern world we live in, with plummeting testosterone even before 40, this is the best natural way to replace it. So, does it affect, below the belt? Sure it does. But it's also about energy, vitality, fat versus muscle, joint health, all these things. And so, and I'm still learning how to make a perfect pine pollen tincture. So anybody out there that knows a tincture guru, I'd be happy to speak with them. There's something about how it absorbs the alcohol, and it's hard to gather back out. So you lose a lot of it in the sponge effect. That's been my...
Isn't there a water extraction?
I'm sorry?
Isn't there a water extraction?
I haven't seen one yet, Jeff.
Okay.
Most of the stuff I've seen, all the stuff I've seen to get to the plant androgens are via alcohol.
And
But,
tell us about
yeah, I'm putting this-
tell us about your coconut 420 recipe and how that is good medicine.
Oh yeah, happy to. Probably for the last 7 or 8 years, I've been doing infused coconut oil, and with the stuff that's not big, beautiful flour, all that other good stuff. And what I found, and I'm happy to quickly describe my recipe, but I'll tell you first what I found is, medicinally speaking, this is the most powerful vehicle I've discovered yet for people. This is just really accessible to people that are really comfortable and regular imbibers of cannabis, and kind of people that never do it, people that, I've shared this with many people that are terminal or just older folks that are ill, and with really great results. Mainly what we're talking about is, pain relief and comfort and getting to sleep, things like that. Now, obviously, it's a vehicle for cancer fighting as well, but that's a different volume. Is my understanding. That's a different volume of intake. But so my recipe is a decarboxylation of small flour or trim in a Pyrex dish that has a cover, or you make a cover, parchment paper or whatever. So some of that gets vaporized and wants to escape. It'll settle back down. When we decarboxylate, there's a range of time and temperature. I'm on the low and slow side, not the hot and fast side, because cannabinoids are so delicate. So I go one tiny notch up, one notch up from the slowest and lowest people. So that, for me, that would be 230 degrees Fahrenheit for 50 minutes, maybe 52 minutes. You preheat the oven. I put it in there covered. Pull it out. I don't take the lid off right away. Let it cool down. Once it cools down, it goes in the coffee grinder and powderizes almost immediately because it's been dried out. And I double boil it in coconut oil. And I just use enough coconut oil to barely cover it. It's very easy to add too much. So I start with a little bit. I add all the powdered cannabis, and then I add coconut oil to that, so that it's barely a sheen of oil over. It's quite a thick mix. You can add as much oil as you want. It just means you're diluting it though, right? So you're not really ahead by using a bunch of extra oil.
Right.
And so that's my process. And anywhere from 2 to 6 hours. 2's enough. I sometimes try to shoot for 4, and on the double boiler. And then that goes in the freezer. I lay it out. I spread it out and lay it out flat now, because then it cuts up real nice and easy. As opposed to, I used to just pour it in a jar and then kind of go in the freezer and chip it off. It's not a shelf-stable product. That's critical to know. It has to be kept in the freezer to stay safe. And so
you just use a little bit, half a small fingernail.
Yeah, half a teaspoon, 3/4 of a teaspoon is kind of where a lot of people fall. I always have a couple small rules to live by to have success with this incredible product, and I'll just pass them on real quick. All these rules, there's a low chance of having a negative effect. And so those rules are,
One of my beautiful partners a couple weeks ago passed out, but in bliss, because she was in pain. She has a TMJ incident right now, so we gave her some, and we upped it from the second time. So she had a little bit, then I upped it a little bit more, and she had a really beautiful slumber sleep.
Well, that's nice, Jeff. And that's one of my 3 ingredients to success is ratcheting in there nice and slow, because most all of us have a story or know of a story where either it didn't work, or more typically it went way too far for people in terms of effects. Often it has to do with the product and the fact that maybe it was overcooked. That's kind of the old school version of going from THCA to THC to CBN really quickly. So that's on the preparation side. But in terms of the volume side, we can control that. You start with a good product, of course, and then start with a little bit. I tell people try a quarter teaspoon or less. Try a little bit. The last thing you want to do is overdo it and turn you off and get bummed out about it. You need to start with a small amount, hopefully, and then ratchet it up, like you said. And everybody has a little bit different sweet spot, but if you take the patience, the time, then you'll find that spot. So the other critical things are you don't want to eat right before you do it because it can really delay the onset or completely change the way it affects you. So I always recommend doing it right before eating, or at least an hour or two after eating. And that seems to work very well. And the other thing is you can't have, it doesn't really, I've noticed for me, a lot of people, if you've already taken cannabis in that day, there needs to be a lot of space before you try this and are going to get a true feel, a true effect. It'll get muddled up is what I'm trying to say. If you've been smoking or doing something else, what you want to do is, have this without having had any other cannabis in the day.
So plan your day, everybody. Plan your day around your coconut infused, THC. And again, well, period, I will do my disclaimer, which my disclaimer is, everybody, we don't tell you that it cures cancer. We don't tell you that it is curing for this or that, but we can take other people's testimonials on my show because they've used it. They've used the CBD, they've used the THC, and these are people that are sharing with us their farming successes and their beautiful medicinal recipes that they like, and so then you find out what works for you and then do it again. If the good thing about the herb and the plant that I found is that you'll sleep it off. It's not like alcohol where you wake up with a hangover. That's why marijuana is such a superior buzz high or relaxant, PTSD, cure all, or, as I would say, from my Project 22, where 22 vets killed themselves every day. I filmed 22 vets from Missouri when I was in, where was I for that show? I was in Colorado, and they drove out there, and we filmed 22 vets that were suicidal, but they used marijuana because it has a receptor that helps with PTSD, and they laughed, and they ate, and they got their appetite back, and they were happy. And so they're the ones that can say, yes, it worked for them. Not me, because I'm a public servant and I want to stay clean and go to the Supreme Court to end prohibition. So thank you so much, Justin, for joining us, for being my buddy, and meet Paul, Justin. Paul has a hemp project, and he wants to raise quite a bit of money and help the prisoners that come home with the profits.
Wow.
Hey, when you're talking, nice to meet you. When you were talking about a quarter teaspoon, I smoke it, but I'm not, I know what you're talking about. Are you saying you eat the product? Or?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you eat the product. Yeah. And the reason we talk, of course, so much about the volume is, and I'm sure you probably know this, but just for everyone's edification, when we combust it, at most, we're getting 18% of what was in there. And we're not even getting that because everybody knows, a secondary exhale toxin, you're blowing in a bag and picking it again, and that whole deal, there's still some in there. So we're not even getting, I don't think, 18%. And that's why when we eat it, we need to be real careful because I don't know what the number is, but it's a heck of a lot closer to 100 than it is to 18,
Okay.
So yeah, it's good. Yeah. And Paul, I'll add to that really quickly. This coconut oil vehicle is really great, for different things too. Like people, I tend to use really heavy sativa leaning cannabis for people that find uses for it in the daytime. But there's a lot of us that use cannabis for evening time, pain management, sleeping, and if that's the case, I'll do a couple of things. I might use an indica leaning cannabis. It might be a later harvest with already deeper colored trichomes. And then you can even, I don't do this usually on purpose, but slightly you can cook it very slightly longer, and that will have the THC to CBN. So if you really wanted to make it a knockout punch type of thing, you can do that by affecting that, not just the choice of making strain, but how ripe it is when you cut it, and also how much you cook it.
Wow, that's fascinating. All this science and how people do this, that's fascinating. What's even better is who it's for like older people or people who are ill who just never smoked and didn't smoke and don't want to smoke it, and don't want to get high. They can do it this way and get the good effect. I guess not the effect that they don't want. Really great, very cool.
There's a stigma on smoking also. There's a stigma for sure. And yes, you're totally right. And in in the retirement homes or the rehabilitation rooms, the rehabilitation rooms, the old people can't smoke in there anyways. And so, I had a patient here on MS for years, and she'd come out every couple nights, and we'd drive her over and we'd give her some edibles.
Yeah, and that recipe I described, that whoever's listening, I hope it's not something you already do, that hopefully you paid attention and took note, because I'm telling you unequivocally, this is the best vehicle I've discovered in over a decade of medical cannabis, and it is. It works for everybody. The people you just described, and including people like me that might smoke plenty, and be real used to it and like it and all that. I mean, it's a really flexible, versatile form of cannabis.
Well, I want to remind everybody that that today, this week is let's see if I can bring me up here. This week is the anniversary of Richard Nixon's war on drugs, and so we're dedicating our show today to to get the bugs out and to re-legalize marijuana across the board. And so we can have medicine, and so we can have the knowledge of, we can have the knowledge of that. The joy that the cannabis is medicine. And that's what we're talking about right now with Justin and with Paul. I'm just so blessed that we can have this dialogue open. When I was a kid, we had to go in the garage, and we had to blow the smoke out the windows, and we had to smoke with apples and toilet paper rolls and this and that, and it was a foreboding, but now you can say gay marriage on TV, and you can say marijuana on TV, and so it's such a blessed time to be navigating here, and I used my Medusa, and this week Justin. So I'm all good. I talked to Kirsten this morning. She was going to try to come on, but we haven't seen her yet. And so maybe we'll come visit you once this week. She's ready for some more shake, to make her medicine. And Paul, introduce yourself and to Justin and tell him a little bit about your dream.
So last year, up until last year, we're a finance company, Patriot Business Finance Consultants. Regular businesses, equipment leasing. You know how a mortgage broker just set up, they got 30 or 40 lenders to get you the best deal for the product. We do the same thing, but our company, that's part of we, in the bottom line, we might be brokers, but we're consultants. We take the time and effort to package the best thing together. We listen. So that was our normal business. It still is. We got a hemp fiber processing plant deal dropped on us in July of last year, referred to us, and that's not a bankable deal, so we knew it was something different. That's private money financing. I didn't do that, so I had to connect with somebody who knew how to do it. Went through a bunch of sources, didn't find people that I liked, and finally met with the group that I liked. Got introduced to them through a mutual friend, and that's taken us into this world. We've been doing this since the 1990s. They take and so now we got a strong focus on hemp because it's huge. And my partners, and when I say partners, they're their own business, and we're still patrons. On these deals that we bring to them, we partner them. And their eyes open. They've got ag tech, big real estate, everything, international business. And when they saw the hemp deal, they loved it because the deep research that they had to do to understand it, to make sure they get investors for it, really opened them up. Now we've got 3 of these types of deals going. We just have fiber processing and other deals with them as well. But for all of that, I was already in the case for it. I just like it. I smoke it. That's what I do. I don't go to bars and things. That's what I do. When we brought them this hemp fiber deal, I said, cannabis. And they opened their eyes up to that. And now that is our main focus. And all that led us to something called a social equity venture fund, which I wasn't even going in that direction. We were going in the direction of hemp and cannabis deals, because there's so much financing that was needed. Now we're like, and it still is our focus. But now, as things develop on Clubhouse, I've recognized social equity and what it is and what it was in the cannabis and hemp fields. And so what we've created is a social equity venture fund. And what it's going to be is investors investing. I'm actively seeking creative and sophisticated investors to fill that fund. But once that happens, then that is going to provide seed money for minority-owned hemp cannabis businesses, victims of the drug war, trying to incorporate veterans in there. We're figuring out where this is a social good. It's all going forward for good. Everybody wins in this type of venture. And the fund will invest seed money to take these businesses into what's called a Regulation A capital base, which gives you a 5-year plan, 40 capitalizes you. It's taking you by the hand and taking you to success. So that's I guess I talk a long time, but that's what we're doing, that's what we're creating, and that's what we're trying to create with this venture fund. And I'm excited about it because if it happens, then we should potentially first year be able to help 40 to 50 businesses take it to the highest level that they can, which creates employment, creates businesses, creates wealth for families to pass on to their kids. That's it. I'm done.
Hey, you still with us, Justin? Did we lose Justin there?
Thank you, Rose.
Okay. Well, like I promised, we got a few more minutes here. My shows are now regulated to an hour show, so we've got about 5 more minutes on the show. So I'm going to share my screen with you all. Hey, Justin. So I'm going to, like I promised, have a little. Hi, Justin. Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, I know. Let me just quickly say, since I know you only have 5 minutes left, you got some little more cool stuff to share. I'd love to connect with Paul, after the show, and Jeff, maybe you can coordinate that. But I'd love to go a little deeper with Paul and respond to some of the stuff you just shared.
Yes, that's the idea. The idea is that each time we touch somebody with Paul, everybody gets a sharecrop, and we rub each other's shoulders, wallets, and abundance. If you shake your buns, you'll have abundance. And so that's
from scarcity to abundance. That's it.
Yeah, so abundance. But everybody, we got a few more minutes. I'm going to share a little fashion show for you here. Watch this, you guys. This is really one of the coolest things here. If I can bring up my browser here, let's see here. Boom, and we are going to go to get this out of here. Here we go. So check this out, everybody. This is my hemp clothing line. I get all my fabric from Hemp Traders. Larry Servin has been bringing his hemp his fabric for 30 plus years from China and Uruguay. And I had these suits made in Vietnam. And Vietnam is closed right now, but when they reopen, we're going to be making more suits. I have the vest. I have 4 vests and 4 hats available for anybody that wants them. Find me any way you can. I'm really easy to find. That hemp tie that I'm putting on with the hemp shirt, there's 2 hemp shirts I'm wearing. That's a hemp hat. What the hell on the Grammys they're wearing dirty cotton for anymore? So let's walk the walk, everybody. Look at my pants. They look like tuxedo, everybody. And so this was the day that the suit came to me, and I'm just sharing with you a little fashion show. I look pretty sporty there, and men's clothing is so ugly these days, including $3,000 Armani suits. And I'm kind of styling. This was a couple years ago when this first suit came to me, and I'm pretty styling in my rockin' Vogue look here. And it's just so much fun to represent clean fabric, clean industry. The hemp industry needs to make more clothing for men and women, and it's just so important to to have more hemp fashion shows. So if you're going out at night, who ever heard of a hemp jacket with a hemp hoodie? Well, there it is, everybody. Lined with hemp silk, and it's a hemp hoodie on a dinner jacket. Are you joking? It's time that we played, and that that the men have beautiful clothing. I mean, I wear utility kilts from Seattle, and they're beautiful, but you can't wear them every night when you go out, to a reopened restaurant. There's one of my hats without the stripe, and this stuff will become available soon, everybody. So this is my little hemp fashion show that I walk down the boulevard. This is right outside my home, everybody, in Washington State. And one night we had a Christmas party, and we had a little photo shoot. I hand my cameras off to everybody, and we need hemp clothing, everybody. So whether it's for men or women or for children, I don't have the bandwidth to do a full line, but I will definitely. We have Modest Jones and a couple other people that were going to come on today, but they're not here, that want to partnership with me. And let's throw some money into this and get hemp fabric made in America. And I think Paul is going to help us with that. And so I want to share with you, everybody, this beautiful hemp clothing line that I have. And I'm going to unshare right now and say, Hemp Hooray, and I'm going to put our outro. Justin, are you still with us? Paul, any final words?
No, thanks for having me on the show, man. I love being on here with you. It's fun. It's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so
I like your clothing. Your clothing is badass, man. Awesome. I like that. I'm not a sharp dresser. I'm just kind of like a regular dressing person. But that's really cool.
it's the best. Yeah, it's the best. Well, for when we go talk in front of our investors, we wear our hemp. We wear our hemp. That's what we're promoting. So we wear our hemp. I'm going to do my outro, everybody, and Paul will catch you on the rebound. Justin, any final words?
Hey, just thank you, Jeff, for continuing the dialogue. This is bubbling up, and the momentum gets bigger every year, every month. It's a very exciting space, but it's growing because people like you are committed to it, and people like me, people like Paul, are just not afraid to jump into the new territory and try something new, something old, ancient, and proven, and awesome, but something new. It's like we're rediscovering this now, and it's a big ray of hope in a weird world, Jeff. So thank you.
Well, and also this week is the 50th anniversary of the war on drugs with Richard M. Milhouse Nixoni, and we gotta call him a phony and a baloney and get him on the phony. So I'm gonna do our outro. Stay with us, you guys, and check this outro out that I made. It's really the best outro I think I've made to date. I learned how to do green screen this week, so check it out, you guys. Here we go. Check it out. It's right here. Boom.
Okay, now look at me. Yeah, you're doing great. Okay, look at me. Yeah, look at me. Look at the camera. Yeah. Put your leg. I'm your host, Jeff Eichen, human rights advocate and social activist fighting for government deregulation of weed and the release of all nonviolent criminals incarcerated for possession of marijuana, moving violations, parking tickets, IRS debt, etc. Here on Weeds Day, we keep the public informed about all things weed related, including festivals and legislation surrounding regulating the growth of hemp. Good morning, ladies and germs. It's Jeff Eichen, and I hope you're not all germied, but that your seeds are germinating, and it is time to plant and transplant your babies into larger pots and feed them and look out for mites and mold and all that stuff. But last week was about, or the last few weeks have been about growing, and so you all know where you're at with that. This week we're going to be talking about the hemp industry and the financial aspects of the hemp industry and how that affects our prisoners. You know, the more jobs we create, the more space we'll have for them coming home and having their own rehabilitation. You've been in jail for 33 years for nonviolence. You're scratching your head every day, but you kind of don't know what a computer or a cell phone is, and let alone coming back to the love space. So our 420 activism is not over with, and even when it is, when we re-legalize marijuana, because we're gonna, in my lifetime, I promise, get this party started. But we're gonna show my hemp clothing line this week. Today we're gonna talk to some beautiful people from Vegas, from all over the world, all over the country, about what they're doing to help the hemp economy. And then we are also going to be discussing today the ramifications of the war on drugs or the war on people, and that is effed up because 50 years ago tomorrow is the anniversary for Richard freaking Nixon, and so we don't like liars, we don't like people that are against the grain. So with flow and magic in our heart and our life, and we're going to get all your prisoners out, let's get on with the show. Jeff Eichen, Hemp Hooray. Hey, I'm here, I'm back. Put your 3 fingers up. That means Weeds Day.
That was really fun, everybody, today, and I'm so proud of my 2 important hemp friends coming on board and for us ending prohibition together. Thank you, Justin, for joining us, and Paul. And we're going to close out so we can stay within our hour and 2 minutes. Hey, we did it. We did pretty good today. So, Paul, blessings. Thanks for the conversation yesterday. Let's keep, I say www.calm, CALM, and we'll see how we roll. I love you, man. Peace out.
All right. Thanks for bringing me back on today.
Happy anniversary, everybody, of Richard Nixon's war on drugs, because it's a war on people, and we are going to definitely end this party and make the party better. We just learned how to carboxylate everybody. So I'm out. I love you all. Hemp hooray, everybody. Jeff Eichen.